What's going on, everybody? I'm Tank, and this is another episode of Roadie Reactions. In today's reaction video, I'm going to be returning to a band that I have checked out once before on this channel. And the first time that I checked them out, I actually really enjoyed it. I loved the music, I thought it was super unique, and I had fully planned on doing a deep dive into their music catalog. But for some reason, it just never really happened. I don't know the exact reason. I think it may be because I was discovering so much other new music at the time that I just kind of forgot. But now I feel like I've been missing out a ton, and let me tell you why. Lately, a lot of people in the YouTube comments have been telling me I need to check this band out again. And also, they just released a brand new studio album, and that album is called The Work, and it came out on September 24th, 2021 from Metal Blade Records. And anywhere I go online lately, I've been hearing about this album in YouTube comments, on Discord forums, all over the place. Apparently, it's fantastic, and I'm super excited to finally check out a song from this album, and if I like it, which I probably will because you guys know me by this point and so many people have told me I'd like it, I'm probably going to have to go out and buy this album when I'm done. Now, even though I've heard this band's name for years and years, I've heard it a ton, I'm still not really familiar with the background of this band. I know they're from Pennsylvania, that's really about it. But this video for me is probably going to be a lot of background research and learning about this band while I'm editing, so hopefully we can all learn a little something new together. But I'm excited to get going, so let's just start. I will link this original video in the description below. And today, I'm once again listening to Rivers of Nihil, and for the very first time, checking out their brand new music video for their single, The Void from Which No Sound Escapes. Let's go! Ooh, I like that little build. Oh my God, I want to lead back into that. But I really wanted to talk about something really quick that was on my mind through that whole part. That intro, tonally, how that was mixed, very atmospheric and open. I love that the drum tones almost sound like they were just taken from a room mic where they were in this video. Like, it sounds like it's just in a large hall. And I really like that. I liked the effect that that had for the build up into whatever we're about to get. I also like that the vocals are, really whispery, but they're also kind of buried in everything. A lot of cool things going on. The bass work that was going on was really cool. That piano was still in there. That was a really, really cool build. I just went back a little bit so we can really feel it going back in, but that was a really, really cool intro, man. I enjoyed it. So my face kind of hurts from holding back a smile right now because this is a lot different sound than the first video I checked out by them. I believe it was Where Owls Know My Name, both video-wise and sound-wise. Now, while we did get more of those harsh, heavier elements in Where Owls Know My Name, it was also, like I used this word before, it was very atmospheric. It was very vibey. This is the sound right now that I always expected from this band when I heard about them from friends and you guys online, but even better than I was expecting. Tonally, this is awesome. I love how technical it is with the musicians. Like, this is sick, man. Very hard video to see what they're using, but there are a couple things I definitely have picked out so far. Their drummer is using minor cymbals, which we could easily see from that top-down view when he was playing. I believe if I saw the hi-hat correctly, it's the business line from them, but I could be wrong. I'll double check while I edit. And we've talked about Mino on this channel a ton, man. One of the biggest cymbal manufacturers in the entire world, German company. Lots of artists use them for good reason. They make quality products. And if I'm not mistaken, again, I'll double check, I believe he's playing an acrylic DW kit. I think I saw the DW badge, which is pretty recognizable even on a quick glimpse. And DW is Drum Workshop. And they have kind of a cool history. Drum Workshop was originally started in the 70s, but they started out just as a company that did lessons and workshops and stuff like that. And it wasn't until a little later that they actually started making drum hardware. That's actually what they were primarily known for, was drum hardware. And then later on down the line, they started making drums. Now, even today, some of the biggest drummers in the world that have endorsements with other companies, all of them, well, all of them is an over-exaggeration, but most of them, a lot of drummers I've seen on tour are all using DW hardware. DW is known as being just the best hardware for drums in the business. And I know a lot of people are starting to use their kits more nowadays too. I mean, it's a solid company all around. Now, bass-wise, that's the one other thing I was able to pick out because there is one very recognizable thing. He's definitely playing a Spectre. I haven't figured out exactly what model it is, but it's a 6-string. And the reason that I can spot out Spectre is the inlays that are on the fretboard of the bass. Very recognizable. And Spectre is another company like DW that started in the 70s, and they've still been going very strong till today. Now, the guy that started Spectre, Stuart Spectre, retired a couple years ago, and the company was actually sold to Korg. So Korg now owns Spectre, but they still manufacture everything the exact same way. Now, one of the coolest things about that company is that one of their first basses, and one of the more popular basses called the NS series, was designed by Ned Steinberger. And Ned Steinberger is a luthier and a stringed instrument maker that we credit to making and popularizing the headless guitars that you see a lot of people making nowadays. Most headless guitars are referred to as Steinbergers, which is cool. So that's what NS stands for on the Spectre NS. I'll try and find out exactly what model that is. I would guess it's probably like a Euro LX or something like that. But let's continue with this. We'll talk more gear later if I figure it out. Oh, I love everything about this. So that part that we were listening to where I said I loved everything about that, I wanted to start pointing out, like, listen to that bass work going on. But then I was like, oh, the guitar works really good. And then the drum works really good. And then the vocals are really good. This is great, man. And I love that they're achieving such a cool sound without being over the top about it. We're not getting anything like insane breakdowns or insane shredding yet. I don't know if that'll happen, but like, they're maintaining a really, really good sound without using anything cheap, for lack of a better word. It's just really good musicianship. I also absolutely love their singer's harsh vocals. He may be one of my favorite vocalists that I've heard in a while. I just love the tone of his voice a lot. I'm still trying to figure out the guitars, so let's listen more and we'll try and come back to it. Ah. Oh, these tones are so good. All right, before we hit this last part, and then we're just going to let the video go. So I definitely have one of the guitars figured out, possibly both. Just from the headstock alone, it's very recognizable. I believe both guitar players are using Kiesels. Definitely the guitar player that we just saw solo from, without a doubt in my mind. Now, I will admit I'm not the best with their models of guitars, mainly because I've really never had my hands on one on tour with any of the guitar players I've worked with. So I don't really know what model that is, but I will look it up. The only models that I'm really familiar with are their really odd shapes like the Vader and stuff, and I know it's for sure not one of those, so I'll check it out. The other guitar player, the headstock looks like a Kiesel as well. Oh, it could be a Carvin. Let's talk about that really quick. So Kiesel officially has been a company since 2015. However, their history goes back like 75 years to the 40s. So a man by the name of Lowell Kiesel started Carvin, and everybody, well, a lot of people know of Carvin from a lot of their audio products, their studio audio products, their live sound products, stuff like that. But they also make guitars and a lot of other instruments and stuff like that. So in 2015, Carvin split off its guitar production into Kiesel. So it's a completely separate entity at this point, even though it's the same parent company. So there is a good chance, because it's a very similar headstock. It does look the same. It does have that Kiesel look, but there is a chance it could be an old school Carvin that I'm also not familiar with. From where I'm seeing this, it kind of looked like a flat top guitar. And again, I'm not really familiar with a lot of the flat tops from Kiesel. I think one's called the DC and the other is called the, I want to say Thanos. I think it's Theos. But again, man, these are fun for me because I'll do some research and I'll learn some new things. So let's just finish this off, man. This is awesome. Oh. Saxophone again. Let's go. Oh man, this is so great. Holy f***, man. That might be one of my favorite things I've heard in quite a while. Ooh. There's something behind that. I'm going to have to look up the lyrics to this while I edit. I'm starting to piece this together now. Them being in an auditorium like that. And the crowd chants of one more song. And him yelling, stop. I wonder if this is kind of a personal, like, what it's like to be an artist. What they feel kind of song. I want to talk about that saxophone a ton. But let me gather my thoughts and we'll go talk about it in the outro. So, 100% confirmation, I have been sleeping on this band because I absolutely loved that and I thought it was spectacular work, man. That was incredible. And I just want to reiterate what I said earlier in the video, like, there was nothing that I would consider cheap about that. They weren't relying on any, breakdowns or super shreddy stuff to stand out. It was just pure musicianship all across the board. Like, even when one person was doing something like the guitar solo, you could hear all the work going on beneath with the bass and the drums and stuff like that. And everybody was constantly doing really fantastic musical work, man. I loved this. I absolutely loved this. And I am going to go buy this record right now and probably listen to the entire thing tonight because that was fantastic again. So the saxophone at the end, if I'm not mistaken, that's a friend of the band. That's not a band member. I think I remember reading that after I heard the saxophone in the first reaction I did. And for those of you that watch this channel regularly, you may already know this, but if this is your first time, I played saxophone for years, man. When I was younger, early, when I was like, I think 8 or 9, I started out by playing alto sax. Then I switched to baritone sax when I was in middle school and played all throughout high school. And it has been years. I don't play anymore, but from my eye, if I remember my instruments right, that was definitely an alto saxophone. And in the range of saxophones from smallest to biggest, you have soprano, alto, tenor, and baritone. Now, while the alto and the tenor are similar, the tenor is a little bit bigger, and you can really tell by the neck. The tenor has a little bit of a bend in the neck, where the alto is just kind of a straight right angle. Well, a little bit of a bent right angle, but that was cool, man. I love the use of the saxophone in this. It's so unexpected, but it's such a good touch. I'm excited right now, man. I absolutely loved that. I'm probably going to wrap this up before I start tripping over my words. But again, their brand new studio album, The Work, is out. If there's anybody else that is watching this for the first time and enjoyed it, check the links below in my description. I will always have links where you can go purchase these albums from these bands because I guarantee you they appreciate your support in doing that. It helps them out a ton. But thank you guys very, very much for reminding me to check out this band. Thank you for watching. And if this is your first time here, feel free to click subscribe. I release new videos all the time, Subscribing is free, and it helps my channel out a ton. If you liked this reaction, I would greatly appreciate the like, as it also helps the channel. But if you disliked it, no big deal, man. Thank you very much for your time. You are free to click dislike and move on. I'm also on a ton of different social media. We have a Discord server we hang on all the time. I have a Twitch that I stream on. I play video games. I do tech work. I do a lot of other stuff. And if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, I'll throw links in the description below. My handle on everything social media is @TankTheTech. Thank you so very much for watching. I will be back very soon with another episode of Roadie Reactions.